Good morning, Your Honor. I am Police Corporal Charlie BANG-ASAN, and I am assigned in Police Station 5, Baguio City. I am graduated at University of the Cordilleras in the year 2017 and was recently promoted to Police Corporal last January 2021. In the case that I am holding, I was the case was an alleged homicide where a young girl is stabbed to death. It was reported July 19, 2021 at exactly 10:40 a.m. And and our fellow policemen responded at the said crime scene, and after confirmation they secured the area and ensured if the safety is not endangered. During the process, they alert the senior investigation officers and report the situation to the crime scene, and subsequently notify the SOCO team to conduct preliminary crime survey. In the first question, what are the important shots that need to be seen in the photograph? The important shots that I put in the photographic log was the major sources of physical evidence that is used to link a suspect to the crime scene, victim to the crime scene, and the suspect to the victim. And also the subject and the scale and a reference object will be seen, and all physical evidence should be seen in the photograph. Why this would be needed? Because if these shots in the photograph will not seen, all the physical evidence presented in court will lose its value, and the suspect can easily defend him or herself that the evidence is planted. Question number 2. How will you prove to this court that these images attached in your file are not photo manipulated? I can assure that this photo is not manipulated in my file because I am the one who took this photo in the crime scene. And if you're not satisfied with my answer, Your Honor, you can show it to your photo specialist for verification if it is fake or not. Question number 3. What is the most important object that needs to be photographed and why? The most important thing that I need to be photographed in is the physical evidence, including the knife, because this physical evidence contains a fingerprint that will lead to the identification of the suspect. Question number 4. Explain briefly technical aspect of the photography that you utilize. I use a smartphone camera to capture the crime scene, and it is important to know the focal length, aperture, and exposure time, and the ISO. The focal length of the camera is a lens is a distance over which a lens focuses a parallel beam of light to one point. The aperture is the opening which lets the light into the camera. Exposure time. Exposure is a combination of three factors that works together to tell us how much light accumulates on the sensor to make the image. Shutter speed. This controls how long how long lens shutter remains open to let light accumulates on the sensor. ISO. The setting refers to the sensor's sensitivity to light. For the last question, state the reason why you only took number of photographs as seen in your log. These numbers in my photograph is the numbers of physical evidence, and that method is tagging or marking the evidence. I took only that photograph so that it would be easier to identify those items on later or for the court presentation.